We get these calls almost daily. Basically, it's something around, I missed open enrollment or I lost coverage and I need to get health insurance now. What can I do? And they kind of assume there's not much they can do, or they're not aware that there is an open enrollment window that you have to enroll in. The good news is in California, we have lots of different triggers which will allow us to enroll outside of open enrollment, which is always at the end of the year. We're going to go through the big, most common versions of those that we can use. We're going to tell you about a couple secret ones, which are fantastic, knowing that everyone's situation is different. I just had a call yesterday with a girl who needed to enroll. We went through, it didn't look good, like she wasn't going to have a special enrollment trigger. And then with a couple questions that is able to pinpoint a way she can get on board right now. We're going to talk about that included in the different special enrollment triggers we're going to go through. But just know, email us with your situation so we can see if there's some way we can get you on board outside of open enrollment, because there are a lot of different little weird quirks there we need to go through for everyone's situation. There's no cost for assistance. We've enrolled thousands of people through special enrollment triggers, and we're happy to help you out. But for right now, let's jump into the video and look at both open enrollment and special enrollment triggers in California. First, what is open enrollment? Open enrollment is a period in California during which you can enroll or change plans, regardless of health, between carriers, different plans, at the end of each year generally. It's usually November 1st to January 31st. I say usually because sometimes they'll extend it. During COVID, it ran all the way to October and November. But for right now, let's be conservative and assume November 1 to January 31st, knowing that can change and we need to be aware of that, so reach out to us. Now, once we get outside of open enrollment, generally we cannot enroll or change plans. You can always cancel coverage, but you can't enroll or change plans unless we have a special enrollment trigger. Those are situations that allow us to get on board outside of that window, regardless of health. There's no waiting period for pre-existing conditions. And so if someone calls us up in June or July, that's usually what they mean. They're like, look, I need to get coverage. Or sometimes they'll call after open enrollment, like in February, and be like, what can I do now? That's when we need a special enrollment trigger. Let's jump into the most common ones and talk a little bit about how this works, about what effective date you can get, and then maybe a little bit about the penalty that California kept after all, and a couple secret ones that most people don't know about, knowing there are others out there. So reach out to us on your situation. Let's go right into the special enrollment triggers. We're going to talk about the most common ones that come up all the time. A lot of them have to do with loss of coverage. So if you lose employer coverage, you're on a plan through your job and you lose the job, you get fired, either way, if you lose that employer coverage, that is a special enrollment trigger. And generally, to make this easy, you have 60 days from the loss of coverage to get a Covered California plan. Now, we can only get the first of the month following enrollment. So if you're losing coverage, for example, on May 31st with the company, ideally you reach out to us in May so we can get you set up for June 1st. Because if we enroll during June, we're going to get a July 1 effective date. And if we enroll during July, we're going to get an August 1 effective date. So as soon as you know you're going to lose coverage, reach out to us. Let's start the process, run quotes, double check income estimates, make sure you get the most subsidy, especially because it's things that change. But just know that loss of coverage, the employer coverage, is a qualifying special enrollment trigger. If you move from another state, that is also a trigger. And usually you're losing other coverage that you had in the other state. That's that other trigger we talked about. There is one special thing about the loss of coverage. It allows you to get the first of the month following, no matter when you enroll in the month. So I can enroll on May 31st and still get a June 1 effective date. A lot of the other special enrollment triggers, if you enroll in the back half of the month, let's say from May 16th to May 31st, they might actually get a July 1 effective date. So earlier is better, reach out to us, but loss of coverage, a move is another qualifying event as long as it's changing the options available to you. Meaning if you move within the same city, that may not be a qualifying event. But if you move to another area of California, that changes the options available to you, that could be a qualifying event. So that's one thing to look at. There are a lot of other smaller options that come up. For example, Medi-Cal changes in eligibility, meaning you're losing Medi-Cal, or Medi-Cal comes back and says, hey, you're not eligible, and they're declining you essentially. That's another trigger we can use. Same 60-day window, so don't wait too long to do that, because once we get outside the 60 days, we could be in trouble. So we have our losses of coverage, our move, we have Medi-Cal changes in eligibility, changes in citizenship. So if there's some kind of change, let's say in naturalization, or you get different status, that can also be a trigger. So reach out to us if there's any big life change. Speaking of life changes, a birth, a marriage, a divorce, reach out to us. There can be special triggers around any kind of change to your household, especially with a birth. Any of those, talk to us, because there's also a lot of strategy we have to look at in terms of income when we're combining, increasing, or shrinking our household. So generally, loss of coverage, big life changes, reach out to us. There are a couple little weird ones. If your income is in a certain range right above 138%, that can be a trigger. It may change at the federal level, but right now, reach out to us. We can look at that as well. Those are the big ones. A lot of different options. Talk to us on your situation. We'll see what's out there for you. If you stuck around this long, thank you. We appreciate it. You probably have more questions. Reach out to us. There's zero cost for assistance. You can call, email, chat, or best yet, book a time, and we can go through your personal situation to address any questions regarding California health insurance. Because a lot of sources out there are nationwide, and California is really unique. We need to go through the specifics of your situation in your area to find the best options. We don't push. We don't try to sell anything. We answer questions. And if you look at our Google reviews, you'll see that reflected in how we deal with this. We're happy to help. Reach out to us. And do us a big favor. If you could like and subscribe below, that's fantastic, so we can keep bringing this information to California.